about stress for a second, because it's something I haven't experienced much. Okay, this is Off the Record. Welcome back to another episode at Hailey Off the Record, episode 12. Can we just take a moment? This is 12th time I have sat down with myself to talk to myself and you guys. I know I don't show up every single week. I'm guilty, but I'm as consistent as I can be. It's a small win, so we gotta celebrate the small wins. We need to acknowledge that achievement. Anyways, stress. I think one of the things that have helped me immensely lately was that I just cannot stress enough about the book, The Let Them Theory. A lot of the things I learned in the book The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins has taught me a lot. A lot of these things, like almost everything on this earth, is not in my control, which is like, hello, reality check. As such a control freak, that was like, oh, that's why all this time, all this year, I have been stressing myself out for no reason, because there was no way I would be able to control those things. And ironically, everything worked out at the end. I stress out a lot for a person who's have everything pretty much worked out for her in the end. So learning that actually affect, that's most of the thing on this earth, most of the thing in our life is unable to be controlled by us. That changed my perspective hugely. I think that's linked directly to my eldest daughter one. For a long time, I've tried to manage other people's emotional life too. Like, I don't know if you feel the same, but being the eldest daughters, I have this tug of war in my head. I feel angry and frustrated when my sibling, for example, or people I love, not living up to their potential, when I know that they could do more. But then I don't know if I'm just projecting myself onto them, or do I really, of course I want the best for them, of course I want them to live a good life, but at the same time I kind of like have to remember that this is their life. I cannot be projecting myself onto them just because that was the expectation that was given to me, that I need to be maxing my potential. I cannot be putting that onto other people, like hello. That's something I have to wire in my head. And I think for a long time I feel responsible in a sense for the happiness of others, especially my siblings and my loved one. At one point it's actually drive me so crazy. I'm not even joking. It used to affect me so much when my sister, so I am the eldest of four, my second sister, she's a little bit more of the sensitive type. Don't get me wrong, I love her with all my heart, and so, you know, she's just her own person. I think in a sense we are very similar, that's why we clash so much, but she just have a different way of expressing her emotion to I do. I bottling, and I never really treat my emotion and my feeling as some things that should be expressed out, should be appreciated. I don't even know if that's a word. My feelings are often overlooked. For me, I can show up regardless of my feeling, regardless of my emotion. If this is the plan, I'm sticking to the plan. And you know, being a Taurus, I hate when there is a change in plan. So I show up whether it's raining, whether it's storming, if I'm sad, if I'm exhausted. And for a long time, it has served me well. It's got me to where I am now. It's made me super high achieving. It's made me super driven. And it's made me get things done regardless. But at the same time, I was building a successful life externally when the inside was like crashing down and burning, because I hold all of these emotions. Now, I don't look at emotions as like positive and negative. They're all neutral. They don't have charges of themselves. They just emotions that need to be felt. But with my sister, she needs to have space to express her feeling, to sit with emotion and go through whatever she needs to go through with emotion. For a long time, I didn't understand that. So I would get so frustrated that she would not talk to me. She would be dead wrong in my head, but she would not apologizing to me. And then I was like, you know, it would just drive me crazy inside, because in a sense I was frustrated that I couldn't make her happy. I couldn't pull her out of the bad mood. And then at the same time, I'm like angry because she's not talking to me. That's my people pleasing nature is talking again. Abandonment wound is started talking again. I think it made me walk on eggshell for such a long time, and it was affecting my own emotional state a lot, and that brought a lot of stress onto me. But then at the end of the day, after the book, I realized that I just needed to let her go through with that emotional state. That was just like one of the very small example of all the example that I have gone through. Letting other people's emotional state affecting me brought on more stress and make me snappy, angry, frustrated, when my own reaction, my own anger, frustration, stress can be controlled. I am in control of it, because if I don't let their emotion and whatever they do affect me or dictate how I feel, I wouldn't have to bury such a huge amount of stress. And I think this quote in the book that stick with me the most is that you are not the emotional manager of the whole world. When I read that, I have this like light bulb moment, awakening immediately. Wow, I really needed to hear that. I really needed that confirmation. That changed the way I act. Now, I think that is why I am not bearing a lot of stress these days. I just let people do what they want. I let them live their life, let them be adult, let them ride the emotion. And at the same time, I'm learning it on myself too. When I'm feeling stressed or frustrated, when I get that anxieties about posting and showing up on social media again, I kind of just let myself feel it. I think of it this way. The emotion, they are neutral. They don't have any charge. They can't damage you, can't do anything. It's your action, your reaction upon the emotion and what you decide to do with it that is going to have a positive or negative effect. So how I view it is that I just need to sit with it. It's kind of like when you go to sleep hungry, right? You have two options. Get out, go to the kitchen and eat, and you solve your hunger, but you would actually have to get out of bed, and that's an inconvenience. Or you stay in bed, stay comfy, but sit in the discomfort of hunger and wait it out until the next morning. The hunger is eventually gonna pass. I know most of us don't want to get out of our bed once we get in there. Hunger is an emotion. It's a type of discomfort. If you know, you know. I am a hangry person, so I know to sit with that discomfort, it's uncomfortable as hell. But it's past. That's the point. You just have to kind of sit with it for like 30 minutes, an hour. I read somewhere that your emotions comes like waves. You really only need to ride them for 90 seconds before they lose their full effect on you. That changes a lot of things. That changes the way you react to a lot of things. When you feel angry, when you feel frustrated, when you're on a diet and you want to eat the pizza, you literally just have to sit in that discomfort and let yourself feel it before it passes. All this time, I have been doing it wrong. I have been restricting myself. I have been forbidding myself from feeling all these things. Discomfort, the frustration, the anger. I mask it as this self-restraint and discipline. I keep showing up anyway. The truth is, I was just not letting myself feel anything. And those things kind of bottle up inside and become one, bigger trauma, bigger problem that just waiting to be exploded like a pressure cooker. So knowing that, you're meant to just sit with the emotion, sit with the discomfort instead of fighting it. And it's only kind of have an effect on you for a very short amount of time. I mean, 90 seconds is not that long unless you're doing a plank, then yeah, it is long. But 90 seconds, just sit with it, let yourself feel it. And I promise you, it's gonna pass, it's gonna get better. Lately, I have tried this a lot. So a little bit live update. I just went through a 3-day juice. I have kind of been wanting to get in better shape for summer. And you know, first day I was going strong. And then second day come around and I was going strong for the first half. And then in the evening, I have the sort of hunger. It's really hit me. It was the fact that everyone around me was eating food. And I was kind of in the environment where I just see food triggers everywhere. You know, living off juice for like 3 days. It's not that easy. So I was really hungry. I really write it up. You know, I sit with myself. I said, this shall pass, because I have a juice every 2 hours. My body doesn't feel that deprived, starvations and hunger. I think it's just a feeling, craving something solid, craving something I can chew. That's what I wanted. So second day was really hard, but I get through that. I went to sleep. Day 3, going strong. Okay, last 24 hours. Day 3, evening roll around. And I was like, oh my God, should I just eat something? I've already almost finished the day. But at the same time, I have this little voice in my head, my disciplined voice that is like, no, you know, you have to be a woman of your word. You need to keep your word. If you said you're doing something, you're doing it. You know what I did? I have to sit with that discomfort. Like, I really want to eat something for dinner. And it probably was not a good idea because I was like watching a show until like 10 o'clock. And you know, when you're watching show, you just want to be eating something. I don't know if it's the bad habit or something, but I just sit there, physically tell myself, I say, let it come, let the hunger come, let the discomfort come. Don't fight it. Feel it. Feel the hunger. You literally only have a few hours until you complete that. You tell yourself, this is what you want to do. You are going to carry it to the finish line. You know, you're not dying. After a little while, it does get better. And I just kind of like go to sleep. And then the next day I wake up completely better. It was actually doable. And I saw the result. And it's kind of really reset my eating habit too. I crave sweet, sugary thing less. I notice my hunger cue and my fullness cue way better now. So the point is, in order to get to that finish line, in order to get where you want to be, get to your goal, you kind of just have to see the discomfort and all those difficulty along the way. They are not avoidable. They are not something you control. They just pop up. Sometimes life be lifing their way. But what you can control is you, your action, your response, how you're gonna act on the emotion, what you decide to do with those energy, with those feelings. Are you going to fight it and make it harder for yourself? Or are you going to sit with it, let it pass, save yourself from all that stress? Because stress, I didn't notice how harmful it is for our body, for woman body. I finished the Let Them Theory book last week. week. So I'm on to my next book, which is Ikigai, and I am loving it. Like as soon as I read the prologue, I was like, yep, this is the book for me. And it talks about how stress does not just impact our mental health, but also our physical health. And the effect of stress is so dreadful on the body. It's so toxic. It's taking off year of your life. Back then, it's a different kind of stress, you know? Us people have to like physically deal with life-threatening danger. The stress these days is different. The stress of life, the stress of being perceived successful in other people's eyes, the stress of proving yourself, to other people, the stress of measuring up to the potential and the expectation. It's a different kind of stress. I feel like back then, the stress was kind of like this high dose, but it's not as frequent, only a certain situation. It's not all the time. But now the stress these days is kind of like a low dose consistency. And you know what? Consistency always wins. Why it's affected us so bad now? Because it's just like the silent thing that just sit there and it's just continuously being pumped into us like an IV line, like, you know, consistent, slow drip, not like a go injection, like once in a while. And over time, it built up and it's affect you, not only your mental health, but also your body. If you don't address your stress, I gotta break it to you, you're gonna give yourself an immune disease. I know this because I didn't notice how much my body suffered for the last few years, especially from 2023 to last year. I was going through this period of my life where that's just like stressful event, one after another. And also at the same time, most of it was because I was trying to be the emotional manager of my whole family, my whole world, pretty much. And I noticed I got sick way more often. In my head, I thought to myself at the time, like, okay, maybe this is just what happened after you had COVID. Your immunity system go down. But I got stressed way more often. And prior to 2023, I had only been sick maybe 3 times in my whole entire life. I am this person that barely got sick ever. I used to have to act like I was sick to take a sick day from school. I noticed I started getting more stomach issues. I would get stomach ache and indigestion way easier. And it's not fun. If you deal with stomach pain before, you know it's also like stress. It's like the silent killer sitting right there. It's just like torture you. It's not like this quite harsh, painful that just come in a whoosh and disappear. It just sit there for like hours and hours. It's not nice. It's exhausting. It's dreadful. That was stress. That was the effect of stress because I was trying to managing so many things at once, trying to live up to my potential, trying to do all these things, trying to build a successful life externally, trying to get validation from everybody and their mom, trying to manage everyone else in my family so that they live up to their best life, their potential, instead of letting them live their life and learning the life lesson themselves. Also, I went through a period where my sisters were suffering, being the emotional manager of the whole world. I absorbed that onto myself and it frustrated me and it angered me that I could not solve it. What it was just something that I could only provide support to her, but at the same time have to let her go through it and sit with her emotion and cope with it by herself to build her own strength. I didn't understand that at the time, so I absorbed a lot of that onto myself, and it was a very, very hard, very, very dark time of our family. And it was not nice. It was like, no wonder why I end up with all of these problems health-wise, and it makes so much sense now that the stress was the trigger, but the symptom, the pain, the sickness, it was a scream for help from the body. It was like,
no, this is like the state we are in, like please do something, please help me.
And I misread that for so long, and I don't want to anymore because I only have one body, I only have one life. If I'm not living this like this is the last time, I don't know when am I gonna have the next. So that is exactly why I am addressing my stress these days, today, now. So how do you cope with stress nowadays? These are just a few ways that you can cope with stress nowadays. Number one, what's important need to be said first. Stop being the emotional manager of the whole world. You are only responsible for your own life. And I know it's hard to accept, it's hard to believe that you don't owe anything to anybody. You need to let adults be adults. This doesn't apply to children, obviously. Let people live their life, let people sit in their discomfort, let people sit and go through their struggles, provide them support, but don't shield them completely, and use yourself as a human shield for them, because these are the life lessons they need to learn. Otherwise, you are taking that experience, that lesson away from them. You're not here to be the human shield forever. Number two, notice the pattern and catch yourself before you fall. First step is awareness. I know this is like second, but like basically first. First, you need to decide not to be the emotional manager of the whole world. And second, notice your stress pattern. There will always be signs before you know you fall down into that dreadful rumble of stress. For me, it's when things get busy, when there's a lot of things going on and there's a lot of demand from me, from a lot of aspects of my life, from my family, family, from my work, from myself, from what I think the external world demand of me. That's when I notice my pattern. That's when I will usually revert back to my old identity and act like, no, we don't have time to feel, we need to get this done. On the surface, that make me look successful, that's get things done. But on the inside, my whole system is on fire. There's like alarm blaring everywhere. I constantly feel like I'm being chased. Over time, it make my nervous system, even when I'm sitting still like this, or I'm going for a walk, I would pick up my pace all of a sudden. Unconsciously acted like I'm being chased by a tiger. I'm just about to get eaten alive, or throwing myself into all this work and trying to get all these things done. At the same time, going to this mental battles. Oh my god, I did not do enough. And at the same time, I was like, I'm not present enough and I'm not enough. And it's not a nice feeling to do. And over the time, your whole system is on fire. One day it's going to fry. It's going to send you into a burned out. And a burned out means you need to tap out. When you tapped out, life doesn't stop for you. Your work doesn't stop for you. Everything doesn't stop for you. The only thing that will be forced to stop is you, because you didn't listen to those earlier warnings. Trust me, I'm not calling anybody out. This happened to me way too often. So I'm warning you right now so it doesn't happen to you. Third, find a hobby. Find something that you actually genuinely enjoy and do it. Keep it. Don't monetize it. Don't think about optimizing it. Don't make it into a side hustle. You need to be able to have something to look forward to. Something that you know, this doesn't bring me more stress, more pressure, but rather give me that sense of ease, that sense of freedom to just be myself, to just do it. Like what I'm doing with Failure Off the Record. This is what I do. Sitting down with myself is beneficial for me, but I know I need to sit with my emotion, and it's something I enjoy doing. It's pretty much exposure therapy, and it's how a lot of the problem that I have been dealing with, a lot of the topic that I mentioned before, it doesn't have the same weight on me anymore. And that is the power of being witnessed. Let it be acknowledged, let it be witnessed, and let it be passed. Number 4, stop spending so much time on social media. When you spend so much time on social media, like I said in a previous episode, it's different now. Scrolling used to be fun and distracting kind of way, but now it's a silent trigger. It's a silent pressure giving to us. That's we're not measuring up. Our life is nowhere near that. We don't even know when our life is going to be like that. It's just little things. Even in the content, it should be that successful. Oh, I should be creating content like that. Oh, I should do this. I should do that. I should improve on this. And that creates just more stress for you on your life, on the thing that you may have not thought about, things that you may not have had it affected you as much before. That's what I'm kind of practicing. No phone in the evening and no phone completely on Sunday. Pretty much just using social media for work now. Because like I said, we only have one life to live. If we're so busy watching everybody else and their mom live their life, when are we actually going to start living out? Last but not least, you need to find an outlet. Whether it's journaling, whether it's meditating, working out, whatever it is. You need to find an outlet to process your emotion. Or, you know, like me, talk to YouTube, talk to a camera, film yourself in photo booth, like self-appointed therapy kind of session. Let yourself be heard, let yourself be witnessed, let yourself be seen as your full unfiltered self. That teach your system that it's okay to be seen fully as who you are. And I think that is one of a big fear that most of us do have, especially us navigating our 20s. That is a common fear. I know this because I had a lot of these, and Failure Off the Record is actually what has been helping me, so I cannot express my gratitude and how thankful I am for this platform and to create this. This probably has to be one of the best decisions I have made this year, and thank you for being my witness and listening to my weekly conversation. I hope it's helped you navigating your 20s. If you're dealing with a lot of stress, if you're navigating a life where there's just so much uncertainty and you're constantly learning and learning things. And that's kind of bring me to the end of this. So now if this episode even makes sense, I hope it does. I hope it's helped you cope with your stress level. Just know stress does you more harm than good. A little bit of stress is okay, but that constant dose, that gotta go. If you like more of these conversations, we do this weekly, so hit subscribe and I'll see you guys next week.